Hey there, Neutron Tech crew! Today we're checking out something pretty special, the construction of a Japanese-style yurt from scratch. Our builder kicks things off by finding the perfect spot and marking out a precise circle right on the grass. What's fascinating here is how everything depends on getting that center point absolutely perfect. It's like the heartbeat of the entire structure, with every single component radiating outward from that one crucial spot. After marking the circle, our builder grabs a shovel and starts digging foundation holes at strategic points. He drops wooden posts and rebar clusters into these holes, then fills them with concrete to create seriously solid anchor points. This clever foundation system does double duty. It lifts the entire yurt off the ground while creating an effective moisture barrier that'll keep everything dry for years to come. Meanwhile, back in the workshop, some serious woodworking magic is happening with the compression ring, what the Mongolians call a tuno. This isn't just a decorative circle at the top. It's the engineering masterpiece that holds every roof beam in place and gives the yurt its signature dome shape. Think of it as the keystone that channels all those outward forces into perfect balance. Instead of wrestling with steam-bent wood to create a flawless circle, our builder takes a smarter approach, cutting precise wooden segments that fit together like a geometric puzzle. Now comes the floor platform, which is way more complex than you'd expect. Our builder creates pie-shaped sections that fit together in a perfect radial pattern, the geometric foundation that makes a yurt. Armed with his jigsaw and careful measurements, he traces curved patterns that match both the outer circle and the inner opening where that compression ring will eventually sit. Supporting these plywood pie slices requires some serious framing work. The builder constructs rigid boxes using standard 2x4 lumber, creating a framework that's both lightweight and incredibly strong. After covering these frames with plywood and sanding everything smooth, you get a floor that's rock solid and seamlessly continuous across its entire surface. With the circular platform finished and properly insulated, it's time for the walls to go up. These aren't your typical walls. They're prefabricated modular panels built either on a workbench or right on the platform itself, then lifted into position manually. Getting that perfect curve around the entire perimeter takes serious skill and patience. You can see the builder using specially curved vertical studs made in his workshop, which shows just how much planning went into maintaining that circular geometry from the ground up. Each panel locks into its neighbor and gets firmly anchored to the platform, creating one continuous, incredibly strong wall system. While the walls rise, our builder tackles another crucial element, the support structure for that compression ring we talked about earlier. Right in the middle of those rising wall panels, he assembles what looks like scaffolding made from timber. This temporary structure has two jobs: holding the compression ring at exactly the right height and keeping it perfectly level while all those roof rafters get installed. Smart move here. The builder integrated window and door openings right into the wall panels from day one, cutting and framing them to exact specifications for future glass installation. Next up is where things get really interesting: fabricating and installing that compression ring along with the radial roof structure. Watch how each curved strip gets bent into shape and clamped with what looks like an entire hardware store's worth of bar clamps. This creates a seriously thick laminated beam through sheer pressure and precision. When you see the builder marking the ring's edge up close, you realize just how critical those measurements are. Every pilot hole has to be perfect because the entire roof depends on absolutely equal spacing all the way around. The installation process involves securing panels to both the compression ring up top and the circular wall plate down below. Each rafter gets bolted or screwed into place, with the builder constantly checking angles and lengths before locking them down permanently. As panel after panel goes up, the structure transforms from an open framework into a proper enclosed space, with that distinctive dome shape taking form overhead. Looking at the structure now, those curved walls are fully wrapped in moisture-resistant black material, and there's already a pre-hung door installed. Here's where things get tricky. Unlike regular houses with their nice rectangular windows, a yurt's curved walls and circular design make window installation a real challenge. Standard prefab windows just don't work here. They're expensive, rigid, and they completely clash with the yurt's flowing circular design. Using laminated segments lets our builder create frames that can actually bend slightly to match the wall's curve. Building a permanent wooden yurt like this bochi hut design isn't just regular carpentry. It requires skills you'd typically find in boat building, fine cabinetry, or timber framing. Working with circular geometry means thinking differently about every single cut, joint, and material choice you make. The compression ring is probably the trickiest part of the whole build. Even tiny alignment errors here will multiply throughout the entire roof structure, throwing off that perfect radial symmetry. Just as demanding are those pie-shaped roof and floor panels. Mess up the angle, curve, or bevel by even a couple millimeters, and the whole thing stops fitting together properly. Standard blueprints and off-the-shelf hardware won't cut it here. Our builder has to create custom templates for every single panel using old-school techniques, compasses, center points, and string measurements. It's like watching someone turn their workspace into a giant geometry classroom, but with power tools. At the roof's crown, where all those radial panels meet around the open compression ring, Bochi Hut applies fiberglass as both a sealant and structural binder. Once those wedge-shaped roof panels are locked in place, insulation becomes the next priority. Since we're dealing with tapering wedges that converge at angles rather than nice rectangular sections, every piece of insulation needs custom cutting for a snug fit. Taking down the internal supports requires nerves of steel. The builder carefully evaluates whether the roof can stand on its own, checking for any signs of stress or movement. Only when he's absolutely certain the structure is solid does he start dismantling that temporary scaffolding, piece by careful piece. With underlayment secured, shingle installation starts at the roof's outer edge. On a circular roof, you can't just slap shingles down in straight rows like a regular house. Instead, they're laid in a fan pattern with slight angles and offsets, each one carefully trimmed to overlap just right. At the same time, the builder crafts custom extensions for the windows, little awnings that channel rainwater away from vulnerable window seams. Time to give these walls their final treatment, transforming raw structure into a weatherproof, breathable home with real curb appeal. First comes reinforcement mesh attached across the entire wall surface. This is crucial for preventing cracks and strengthening the cement plaster that comes next. Using a hawk and trowel, the builder spreads a base coat of mortar in overlapping strokes, working that mesh right into the wet surface. After this base layer cures, a smoothing coat goes on with finer mortar that fills any gaps, levels everything out, and preps the surface for its final finish. Let's talk about what makes this yurt special from a historical perspective. This tiny dwelling brilliantly merges ancient wisdom with modern building science. Traditional Mongolian yurts were designed for nomadic life. Quick assembly and disassembly were everything. But Bochi Hut's version flips the script, creating a permanent wooden structure built to last decades. The biggest departure from tradition shows up in the building envelope design. Classic Mongolian yurts use natural, breathable materials that provide modest insulation, relying mainly on the circular shape and low ceiling to trap heat. Sure, these materials can handle some moisture, but continuous humidity or rain really hammers their performance and lifespan. YURT's approach completely reimagines this system as a sealed, insulated shell engineered for serious longevity. Before adding interior insulation, though, the inner wall framework needs to go up. Geometric precision is critical again here. You're working with a circular outer wall and wedge-shaped floor sections radiating from the center. The builder uses standard dimensional lumber, usually 2x4 or 2x6, joining them with screws or nails just like partition walls in any regular wood frame house. For plumbing, flexible PEX tubing handles the water supply lines throughout. In the shower area, the builder installed blocking for future wall panels, while ensuring enough cavity space for both hot and cold lines to run comfortably. That shower plate forms the base pan, and since this yurt sits elevated on piers, YURT had easy access to run all the subfloor plumbing without tearing anything apart. The countertop came together from laminated wood panels, carefully cut and planed to exact dimensions. Under the burner area, extra reinforcement handles both the weight and heat from regular cooking. The exhaust hood mounts securely above with carefully adjusted spacers and brackets, maintaining proper clearance for safe operation. Those bathroom doors, one for the toilet, one for the shower, are custom-built to fit their specific openings, accounting for any quirks in the framing. Lightweight butt hinges keep these doors swinging smoothly without putting stress on the structure. The circular floor plan naturally suggests a radial furniture arrangement, with everything curving along the walls. Storage cabinets built near the door area take full advantage of that wall arc without crowding the central living space. Installing the chimney requires careful planning and fire-safe construction techniques. A non-combustible hearth pad or tile base goes directly onto the insulated wooden floor first. The chimney route needs strategic planning, considering both interior layout and how it'll pass through the curved walls. Rather than punching through that central compression ring, which now sports either a fiberglass dome or skylight, the flue pipe routes vertically through one of the wall panels instead. Precision becomes absolutely critical here. You're not dealing with a flat wall, but a convex curve where every measurement matters. Traditional furniture layouts go out the window in a roundhouse. Instead of shoving rectangular furniture against walls, everything needs to be wedge-shaped or curved to match. These custom pieces get scribe-fitted right in place, borrowing techniques from log cabin and timber frame construction. Shelving presents its own puzzle, maintaining consistent depth while following that curve and adapting to various angles. Building a mosquito screen for the entrance keeps bugs out while maintaining good airflow. Fiberglass mesh works perfectly here, stretched tight across a wooden frame and secured with spline gaskets just like regular window screens. Any gaps, especially along the floor or those tricky curved upper corners, get sealed with weather stripping. A coat of natural oil or low VOC sealant protects the wood and keeps everything looking good. Moving outside now, that shipping container conversion into a fully equipped workshop proves to be genius-level problem solving. The builder starts by marking out exactly where the container will sit, then excavates holes at key load-bearing points where the weight concentrates most. The container already provides a weatherproof, structurally sound shell, eliminating the need to build a separate workshop from scratch. Inside, the builder frames new doorways and fits them with custom wooden frames for a proper finished look. The interior gets kitted out with modular workbenches on locking wheels, positioned along the walls for maximum efficiency. These support an impressive array of power tools: miter saws, sanders, planers, drill presses, all arranged for smooth workflow and safety. Thick plywood and timber shelving holds hand tools within easy reach. Smart dust extraction piping keeps the air clean and prevents sawdust from coating everything. Having this dedicated workspace is absolutely game-changing, especially for someone tackling such an ambitious solo project. Beyond just tool storage, this workshop becomes the production center for prefabricating components that demand precision and consistency. That structure next to the workshop houses the water collection and supply system. Construction starts with more careful foundation work. Concrete footings in the ground ensure rock-solid support and perfect leveling. Once cured, treated lumber beams span across these footings, creating a raised platform frame that's both rigid and moisture-resistant. With the insulated platform secured on those concrete footings, vertical framing begins. The builder cuts boards to length for upright studs, choosing materials for their predictable strength and easy availability. Rather than wrestling walls into position vertically, each wall gets pre-assembled flat on the ground, way easier on the back and much more accurate. This approach gives better access for layout and nailing while reducing mistakes. These pre-assembled panels feature regular stud spacing, probably 16 inches on center, ensuring proper load-bearing capacity. Each completed wall gets tilted upright, temporarily braced, then permanently anchored around the platform's perimeter. As adjacent walls go up, corner connections get extra reinforcement to handle lateral forces and prevent racking. The structure's design stays refreshingly simple: a rectangular box topped with a single pitch roof that slopes to one side. This style works great for utility buildings, efficiently shedding water while avoiding complicated ridge details. The tall side provides perfect space for mounting tanks, shelving, or equipment. After squaring up the framed walls, exterior sheathing goes on. These panels get nailed or screwed directly to the studs, spanning both directions to tie everything together and resist shear forces. The OSB continues up onto the roof rafters, creating one continuous envelope that acts like a structural diaphragm. Corrugated metal roofing runs perpendicular to the roof slope, starting at the bottom edge and working upward. Special screws or nails with rubber washers create watertight seals at every penetration point. Panel overlaps are carefully aligned to channel rain away from joints, creating a surface that'll handle UV exposure and resist rust for years. After wrapping everything in moisture-resistant membrane, horizontal wooden planks create the final exterior cladding. Each board gets cut to precise length with uniform gaps for expansion and drainage. Corner trim and window framing complete the look with clean transitions while sealing vulnerable spots against rain infiltration. The builder matches grain direction, keeps ventilation gaps subtle, and coordinates finishes with the main yurt for visual harmony. Since this is an off-grid site, the pump needs independent power. The builder creates a safe, well-ventilated connection point for electrical supply. Back at the container, a more substantial roof becomes necessary. Installing a wooden framework over the metal roof accomplishes several important things. It spreads weight evenly across those thin, corrugated panels, reducing stress that could cause problems, especially important where snow or heavy rain might create dangerous pressure points on unsupported metal. This frame also works as scaffolding for future upgrades, providing a solid base for insulation, moisture barriers, and additional roofing materials that would otherwise be tough to attach. Wood gives you something solid to screw into for fasteners, flashing, and even roof extensions. Last but not least, a proper firewood shelter keeps the fuel supply dry and ready. Vertical posts anchor securely into horizontal beams, creating the shelter's frame. The roof follows that same single-pitch design used on the water supply building, simple but effective for shedding water. Matching corrugated metal sheets tie the visual theme together across all the structures. The walls stay partially open or use spaced boards for maximum airflow, crucial for proper wood drying. Inside, firewood stacks neatly in split rounds or half lengths, sorted by size and drying stage for easy access. What really makes this project exceptional isn't just the craftsmanship quality, though that's certainly impressive. It's the complete vision behind everything, a deeply personal, technically sophisticated example of how someone can create something permanent from concepts that were originally meant to be temporary.